If you clicked on this video, you're probably a business owner who wants to post short form content or YouTube videos that drive leads to your business, but you're not sure if you should outsource or stick your marketing team on the job. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 key reasons why you should hire a content agency instead of building an internal video team. And you should listen to me because I've done it all. I've built internal teams, hired agencies, and I've started my own YouTube content agency too. Yet so many business owners think doing video production in-house gives them more control and will save money in the long run until they see just how much it takes to create high quality content. And I get it, their head is in the right place. But what if I told you that outsourcing to experts who focus exclusively on content actually leads to faster channel growth, better overall videos, and more leads driven to the business? So I'm gonna break down the 5 reasons why YouTube agencies outperform internal teams, what red flags to watch out for when hiring an agency, and how to calculate the true ROI comparison. The first reason you should hire an agency is based on the essentialism principle. The big idea is when you focus on doing one thing, you are more likely to excel at it. But when you try to do many things at once, you are less likely to succeed at any of them. This applies to anything in life, but it also applies to making content. I used to run the internal YouTube team for a company, and the problem was it was only one of my 10 different job roles. I couldn't focus on the scripts, hire the right editors, or do proper A/B testing. And I still think to this day that we left thousands of dollars, if not millions, on the table. So think about your internal marketing team right now. How many different daily tasks and quarterly projects are they responsible for? So when you add content on top of that, it just becomes an afterthought. Compare that to a specialized YouTube agency where YouTube isn't just part of what they do, it's all they do. It's the difference between a general practitioner and a specialist surgeon. Both are doctors, but who would you want performing your heart surgery? But here's what's really keeping business owners up at night when it comes to content. The most powerful advantage agencies have is their incentive structure. Agencies live and die by their results because they're paid month to month and can be fired at any time. When you hire internal employees, what happens if they don't deliver results after 3 to 6 months? It's complicated and costly to replace them. You've invested in their training, equipment, and integration into your company culture. An agency, on the other hand, if they're not performing, you can simply cancel your contract and find a new one. So let me share a real example of how this ROI-focused approach works, especially with agencies. With one of my clients, we implemented a strategy where YouTube was specifically positioned as a discovery point in the customer journey. Viewers went from YouTube to a VSL and then to a sales call. The result was we generated over $100,000 in revenue. It happened because we were focused on the outcomes, not just view counts. But there's a critical distinction I need to make here. Not all agencies are created equal, and this is where many business owners get burned. You need to work with an agency that is focused on the right results, because some promise to get you views or make your videos go viral, but that's a massive red flag. An agency that just focuses on views will create content that may not align with your actual business goals. It might get you 100,000 views, but 0 qualified leads. So what you want is an agency that ties their success to your business outcomes. In my agency, we're not focused on views, we're focused on one metric that actually matters, and that's booking more calls so you can land more paying customers. Always ask, how do you measure success? If they talk about views and subscribers, just keep looking. If they talk about conversion rates and qualified leads, you are on the right track. Now, I can already hear some objections brewing.
But won't I lose control over my brand voice with an agency?
But this is actually one of the biggest myths about working with agencies. A good YouTube agency will spend more time understanding your brand voice than an internal team typically would, because they know that alignment with your brand is essential to their success and your continued business. What's actually scary is the flip side, spending months waiting for your internal team to figure out YouTube while your competitors with the agencies are already gaining traction in your market and getting leads. And speaking of time investment, let's talk about what most business owners dramatically underestimate. Building an internal YouTube team is far more expensive and time consuming than most people realize, and the biggest cost isn't what you think. Let me break this down with an example. Say you have 2 or even 3 employees on your marketing team working on YouTube just 1 day per week. And let's say they collectively make $150,000 on the low end per year. So at 1 day a week, or 20% of their overall working time, you're spending $30,000 on salary for YouTube. That's $30,000 spent on the low end, not to mention opportunity cost of having them learn YouTube on your dime when they could have helped the company elsewhere. Let's actually take a second to dig into this learning curve I'm talking about, because YouTube is more than just filming content on a camera. It's about generating ideas that actually get clicks. It's about writing scripts optimized for retention. It's about getting comfortable on camera. It's about technical setup and filming knowledge. You also need to learn editing skills, which is a huge discipline of its own. And not to mention thumbnails, SEO, A/B testing, and so so much more that goes into it. Each of these skills takes months or even years to master, so your internal team will inevitably go through a costly trial and error period where they're just getting paid to learn on the job. Meanwhile, a specialized agency has already climbed this learning curve. They've made the mistakes, refined their process, and built systems for efficient delivery and results from day one. And that's for less than what you're spending on an internal team. You could hire an agency that already knows how to get results and will produce more content that actually drives revenue. But I bet you're wondering, but what if I can't afford an agency? That's a common objection I hear, but the reality is you can't afford not to hire an agency. The cost of doing it wrong internally will always exceed the cost of doing it right with the experts. So this brings me into another critical advantage that's often overlooked. One of the most underrated benefits of hiring an agency is the speed at which they can execute. When you build an internal team, you're looking at 1 to 3 months to hire the right people, 2 weeks to onboard them, 1 to 2 months for them to develop the initial YouTube processes, and several more months of testing and refinement. That's potentially 6 months before you're consistently publishing content. But with an agency, you can be publishing your first videos within weeks because they already have the team, the processes, and the expertise in place so they can hit the ground running immediately. And with AI and how fast things move these days, getting to market 6 months earlier can be the difference between dominating your niche and missing on an opportunity entirely. But you might be asking, what if this agency doesn't understand my specific industry? This is another question I hear frequently, but the truth is a good YouTube agency doesn't need deep expertise in your specific industry. They just need expertise in YouTube itself. Because think about it, your internal team might understand your industry, but they don't understand YouTube. A good agency will take the time to learn enough about the industry while applying their extensive YouTube knowledge, and this combination is far more powerful than industry knowledge alone, because industry knowledge isn't going to get the clicks. And this time to market advantage compounds over time because of this final point. When you hire internally, budget constraints usually mean you're hiring generalists, people who need to wear multiple hats. You might have one person responsible for filming, editing, thumbnail design, and strategy, or maybe you have a small team of 2 to 3 people trying to cover everything. With an agency, you get access to specialists in each critical area of the process. Building this team internally could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year, but with an agency, you're essentially sharing these resources with their other clients, making this way more cost effective. But there are some red flags to watch out for when you go to hire an agency. And this is coming from someone who's run an internal team, started an agency, and even hired agencies himself. First, be extremely cautious of agencies that promise unlimited videos. I've worked with these agencies and we certainly did not get unlimited videos. We ended up leaving them after a couple months because they overpromised and underdelivered. The reality is that quality YouTube content takes time and expertise to create. Any agency promising unlimited output is either going to deliver very low quality videos that won't perform, using cookie cutter templates that won't differentiate your brand, planning to overwhelm you with quantity so you don't notice the lack of strategy or results. The second red flag also comes from personal experience. We once hired a smaller, newer agency where the owner was a skilled editor but didn't know how to fulfill on time. They ignored our messages, kept saying they were working on our videos, and delayed their responses. When they finally responded, they admitted they hadn't even started the work and couldn't deliver or provide a refund. And this taught us an important lesson. Just make sure the people you're hiring have experience, not just with the creative work, but with fulfillment. Lastly, watch out for agencies that don't have a clear onboarding process to understand your business, your audience, or your goals. Content without any strategy is just noise. To recap, there's the essentialism principle, which means agencies that focus solely on content will outperform teams juggling multiple priorities. Number 2, agencies have stronger incentives to deliver results because they're focused on business outcomes, not just views, because they simply want to keep getting paid. 3, there are the hidden costs and learning curve of building an internal team. They are far greater than most business owners realize. 4, agencies can get you to market months faster with their proven systems. And 5, you get access to specialists in every critical area instead of generalists who wear multiple hats. Now you have a decision to make. You can spend the next 6 to 12 months building an internal team, investing in equipment, climbing the learning curve, and hoping they eventually figure things out. Or you can partner with experts who already have the systems, the specialists, and the proven processes that can start driving results for you within weeks. Now think, what would it look like to look back 6 months from now, having made no progress because your internal team was still trying to figure things out? So if you're ready to grow your business with YouTube without the headache of building an internal team, my agency can help you get results faster based on my experience from both sides of the industry. We don't focus on the vanity metrics like views. We are laser focused on converting viewers into leads and customers for your business. Click the link in the description to book a discovery call with me, and I'll show you exactly how we can help you generate qualified leads through a video sales funnel. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.